What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? This is David here with Mac Tutorials 14. Alright guys, so tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow, a new jailbreak for iOS 8.2 could potentially be released at the MSS or Mobile Security Summit. So I'm really excited and pumped up, and Michael's really excited and pumped up, and we're just going along for the ride, and we're going to see what happens tomorrow. So, basically, I talked to Michael today in computer graphics, and I asked him, what we should do, and basically, we decided on the fact that if a jailbreak does get released tomorrow, then our podcast episode will be primarily, that's the word, primarily focused on that jailbreak. We're not going to go into detail about other things as we were going to in the previous podcast, but maybe in future episodes, in the coming weeks, maybe we'll touch on new tweaks and stuff like that. But definitely, I think that if a jailbreak does get released, it is definitely something really awesome to talk about. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what to expect at the convention and a couple of other things. I'm going to talk about Ionic and what that means to the jailbreak community. So first off, I'm going to start off with tomorrow's event. So if you don't know what's going on, if you really haven't heard about it, which if you're, into jailbreaking, I can imagine you probably already heard about it. But if you didn't, Mobile Security Summit, or MSS as they named it for short, is basically a convention that's being held in Beijing, China tomorrow, which is March 27th, and it's going to be held it's going to be held by TaiG. The TaiG jailbreak team is actually sponsoring it. So that's also what makes it cool as well, because the TaiG jailbreak team was the jailbreak team that provided us with the latest public jailbreak, being iOS 8.1.1 through 8.1.2, and that got patched on 8.1.3. And then also the guys over at PP actually developed the Mac version. So again, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to answer a couple of questions. So people have been asking me, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think something's going to be released? I definitely do think that they do have something up their sleeves, just because it's been a while, since, TaiG, when 8.2 got its first beta, months and months back, TaiG had said that it is possible to jailbreak iOS 8.2, that beta version. They just disabled it because they didn't want Apple getting a hold of the exploits that they had saved up for 8.2. That way, when the final launch happened, when the final release happened, they can just toggle a switch and enable it like that, and all you have to do is just simply jailbreak your device on 8.2, and it wouldn't be any different. It would recognize it because all they had to do is flip a switch and it would start working. So apparently what actually ended up happening is someone, I guess, told Apple, or Apple found out somehow and actually patched a lot of the exploits they were actually saving for 8.2. So they had to probably work a lot and try to get some different other exploits. So the initial exploits that they had actually did get patched by Apple for 8.2. So I do think that they are definitely working on something. And obviously, that would be the best time to release it, because you got guys like, POSIX Ninja, Pimskex, Comex, who is he's one of the, in my opinion, he's one of the, most important guys that's actually going to this thing, because he is the one who actually developed the first and only web-based jailbreak solution, a tool, I guess you could say, called Jailbreak Me. Basically, what that allowed you to do is, instead of going on your computer and plugging in your phone or iDevice, whatever you did, instead of doing that, you could actually go on your device, go on Safari, go to jailbreakme.com, and actually jailbreak your device wirelessly without actually having to plug it into a computer. So that got a lot of popularity, and for a while, because it was a PDF exploit that Apple actually just completely left open, for a while, since it patched that, for a while it was actually safer to have a jailbroken device, using that exploit, just because using that exploit actually patched up the PDF exploit. So, being jailbroken for a little while there actually was safer than not being jailbroken. So definitely, with all these, important people that from the jailbreaking community that are going to be there, even though it is not going to be live streamed, at least we don't really know at this point. We haven't really heard anything different. I would think if they're going to live stream it, they would have. I can't believe I can't speak right now. They would have let us know days and days ago, at least probably earlier this weekend last weekend they probably would have told us, or maybe even Monday, at the latest Monday, because this event is Friday, so they could, but at the same time it's not likely. Could I see that happening, that all of a sudden they're like, oh well, we have a live stream, go check it out here? So I don't know, but anyway, so this event is supposed to take place, I believe, at some point when I'm in school. So I'm going to be constantly checking my Twitter feed every single day, or not every single day, what am I saying? All day tomorrow. I'm going to be constantly checking my Twitter feed, seeing if an iOS 8.2 jailbreak has been released. And I'm going to try to see, I think there's a way to actually, because there's this new app called If Then or something, and you can basically say, you could tell it to do if this happens, then you will do this kind of thing with command lines and stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can find they call it recipes. I'm gonna see if I can find a recipe that anytime the hashtag the hashtag 8.2 jailbreak is mentioned, I'll get a notification on my phone. Or something, just so I'm able to keep track of it without having to constantly go on Twitter, because, sometimes that's hard, because some classes don't want me to be on my phone, some classes don't really care, some classes I have to sneak it, some classes I use my phone all the time, so it's not really that big of a deal, but, I'm not going to name the specific classes, but some classes are like that, some classes aren't, so it's going to kind of be hard to, to kind of figure out what's going to happen, but I'm super excited, and this means a lot for the jailbreaking community. Tomorrow is, the deciding factor on what TaiG actually decides to do. The ball's in TaiG's corner right now, whether they want to swing and release their newest version of TaiG to jailbreak iOS 8.2, or they're just going to, have these guys up and talking about iOS development and iOS jailbreaking development and not actually release a jailbreak, which, Jailbreak Con has done that. I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I think the first Jailbreak Con before when they actually changed the name from My Great Feast, I believe, to Jailbreak Con or Fest or whatever it was. When they changed the name, I believe the first time that was around iOS 4, and actually the Absinthe or Chronic Dev team, I forget exactly who it was at the time, actually announced the latest jailbreak at JailbreakCon and said basically, we're working on it. The site we're trying to get up, it will be available as soon as the site's up. We're having a little bit of trouble with it because for some reason there was a lot of traffic that we weren't expecting on the website. So as soon as we get that back up, the jailbreak will be released. So basically that's what happened, and they basically just released the jailbreak there. So is that going to happen this time around? We don't really know at this point. So like I said, I'm really, really curious and excited to see and interested to see actually exactly what happens tomorrow. So of course, I will, if something does happen, I told him, listen, I told Michael, listen, while I would want to, hop on this and, do it as fast as I can, if a jailbreak gets released, I'm going to run home, and the second I get home, I'm going to open up my computer and start a tutorial. Legit, that's what I'm going to do if a new jailbreak becomes available, because I want you guys to be one of the first to know. And unfortunately, I'm inconvenienced with school, so when stuff like this happens, when this gets released on a weekday in the middle of a school day, I really can't do anything about it unless I try to ditch or go home early or whatever. But obviously, I'm not going to do that because I have to be there. Otherwise I'd get in serious trouble. But, so I'm going to do everything I can to keep you guys updated on what's going on. So not only that, but Ionic actually tweeted out a picture, and I know I say this a lot, and, I'll leave the picture up on the screen or I put in the description. I'm just going to, say it was a picture of Terminal on OS 10, because I don't want to go into, go to the description, it'll be there, because let's be honest, it probably won't, because knowing me, I forget to actually put it down in the description. I always, that's the one thing with YouTube Capture uploads I really have to get better on, because it doesn't really prompt you to edit the description a lot. So, by default, it's via YouTube Capture, and a lot of times I forget to change it when I go in and upload the video from YouTube Capture. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Also, like I was saying, Ionic actually tweeted out this picture. I believe it was late last night. He basically just said, I'll just, like he used to do with all the other things that he teased, I'll just leave this here, ... And then, it was a picture of the OS 10 terminal window, and I had Michael analyze it, and he basically said, from what he understands, that's a working jailbreak. He has a working jailbreak for whatever iOS version. We're assuming it's 8.2 just because that's the latest iOS version, that and iOS 8.3 and those various betas, but 8.2 is the latest public version that has not been jailbroken yet. So to have a jailbreak for anything, later or earlier just wouldn't really make any sense. 8.1.3 just didn't bring that many improvements to the table. Really, 8.1.3 was just the firmware that patched, the Pangu, or not Pangu, the TaiG jailbreak. So pretty much other than that, there really wasn't that much new about it. So that's the reason why no one really cared about 8.1.3. So 8.2, though, it does introduce the Apple Watch app, compatibility with the Apple Watch when it comes out, and several new other features like that. So, definitely it is that major firmware that's coming out, that came out that Apple released, and now we're just waiting on a jailbreak to drop so we can actually go ahead and free our devices on that firmware. But let me know what you guys think in the comment area below about possibly, maybe having the Apple Watch jailbroken, because if the Apple Watch hooks into the iPhone and you have a jailbroken iPhone, in theory, you should have a jailbroken Apple Watch as well. So we'll see how all that pans out. Obviously, there'll be more information about that and more information about the iOS 8.2 jailbreak as, time goes on. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. We will record episode 1 of Cupertino tomorrow, and it's going to be tomorrow night. So most likely, we're going to try to get it out before midnight Friday, just because I might have to actually work a little bit more on that, just because, we want to bring this to you guys as soon as possible, and having it a day late would just mean that it's somewhat old news, and, it's not really like, oh, a jailbreak got released. Yeah, we knew that about like a day and a half ago. Where the hell have you been, kind of thing. So, we want to get to that, we want to get, that to you guys as soon as possible, and who knows, it's still TaiG, so, it's not like 8.2 brings any new, amazing new improvements or amazing new changes. It does, bring that Apple Watch compatibility, as I've talked about, but it's not like the change from iOS 6 to iOS 7, where Evasion actually encountered a lot of issues the first time they actually, had the jailbreak working. TaiG has jailbroke previous versions of iOS 8, so 8.2 should not be any different. But, there could be some bugs, some issues with the initial jailbreak, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Most likely what's going to end up happening is the jailbreak tool is going to be Windows only for the most part. I would honestly be very, very surprised if they release an OS 10 version alongside or at all, because basically they said they were working on an OS 10 version and it was taking longer than expected and blah, 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 and they'd come out with it eventually, and then PP kind of stole their thunder and basically just took the exploits that TaiG used and packed them into a OS 10 tool, a Mac OS 10 tool, and released it, and basically did that. So they kind of beat TaiG to it. So it's going to kind of be interesting to see what happens this time around. Is TaiG going to kind of, neglect the Mac OS X or Mac OS 10 community and just completely not even recognize that, people exist out there that do use Mac OS X or Mac OS 10 primarily? Or are they going to actually just go ahead and bring them alongside like you'd see any Evasion or Chronic Dev Team or anything like that do? But anyway, guys, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I am interested to hear what you guys have to say. And until next time, guys, this is David signing out. Peace.